One of the hardest parts of burnout is feeling disconnected from your purpose. I work with a lot of people who know they're in the career they're supposed to be in, but they're starting to feel connected from it. They're losing their passion. They're starting to question, can I keep doing this? Or am I misreading and this really isn't my purpose? Where they're questioning themselves. You see, in most cases, purpose hasn't disappeared. Your purpose is still there. And you probably read it right. What's happened is it's just become buried under nonstop stress, where you just don't feel like you can get a break. But you see, we're not designed to live in this state of chronic stress. But when we do and we hit the point of burnout, we will get disconnected from our purpose. It does happen, and I hear it all the time because chronic stress will suppress your motivation system. So when you're chronic stressed, you're losing motivation, you lose momentum, and frankly, you lose your desire. You start to disconnect from what you thought was important. You'll also feel emotionally exhausted, which can reduce your capacity to take in anything else, whether you're listening to other people's emotions, listening to their stories, but you just start to feel exhausted, like you can't take on anything else. And this is when you start to question, is what I do really matter? Does it? And I can tell you it does, but it doesn't feel like it. For some people who are very creative, this is when your creativity declines, right? We've talked in previous videos that those things that make you that are important start to go out the window. So if you're a creative person and you're like, I just can't, I'm just drawing a blank in my mind. Yeah, you're probably getting to burnout. And when you're burnt out, survival mode replaces that inspiration, right? When we are in a state of chronic stress or burnout, our body and our mind does not know the difference between a real and a perceived threat. So it goes into survival mode to protect you. But there are things that we can do, but we have to know the difference on where we're going, right? So are we trying to look at our purpose or are we trying to improve our performance? Because your purpose is deeper than the productivity that you do at work. So yes, we focus on productivity because we have things that have to get done at work, but your purpose is deeper than that, right? It's knowing what you're meant to do and why you're doing it. Why do you enjoy doing what you're doing? It's knowing that you're in the right place and the belief that what you do is connected to a bigger picture, that there's a larger meaning behind why you feel drawn to do what you're doing. It's internal, right? It's not just thoughts and I learned about this and that. I personally have connected that my purpose is to help people. And it comes from a lot of things I experienced as a kid that gave me an understanding and some empathy when life is hard, because life is hard. It gets easy at times and enjoyable, but it can be hard. But we want to stay connected to the purpose, right? And not just get stuck in how much productivity you're doing. And I know that your supervisors are probably focused on your productivity because they're looking at numbers. That's how businesses run. And yes, both are important. But if you're reconnected to your purpose, your deeper why, your productivity will be there. You see, burnout damages the performance and productivity. It does not damage your purpose. It just masks it so you're not aware it's still there. Because when your identity is tied to your output, that's where burnout leaves you feeling like you've lost yourself. And as high performers, we tend to tie our identity to the work we do and to the things we accomplish, that output. So getting burnt out does feel like a loss of self, but you're still there. We just gotta unbury it, right? And pull it back out. And that's why reconnecting to your purpose is so important because I want to see people stay in the career they feel called to. And if you truly don't feel like you're called to that career, let's find what that is. But we have to stay reconnected to it because having a purpose is what drives us in life. And you can reconnect to that even after you've been burnt out. But we have to first work on restoring that physical and emotional energy. So you have to feel like you can handle what comes emotionally. You want to be able to release any of that negative emotional energy that comes. And then you want to restore and make sure that your physical body can actually do what you have to do. So you don't go from not being able to walk 100 feet to when you used to be able to walk 2 miles, you can only walk 100 feet, right? That was my story. I went backwards. I couldn't hardly move. I couldn't hardly stand. I restored physically. I can walk 2 miles or 3 miles now. Like you have to have the physical bandwidth and ability, and you have to take care of that. So we have to restore those things in order to reconnect to the purpose and emotionally just having the energy back, right? It's also important to reconnect to your values and what you see as the meaning of life. Like, what is the purpose? What do you believe? What are those values that drive you? Because those are all important to staying grounded in your purpose. We all have one, and we need to stay connected to it. You want to be able to re-engage with work, but in a sustainable way. So working 10, 12-hour days, 6 days a week is not sustainable for anybody. Working 8 hours without breaks is not sustainable. And I know we have this belief that if I push through my breaks, I will get everything accomplished. And I'm going to guess you probably experience that's not the case because your brain needs the breaks. So we have to find sustainable ways to do our work because you can get more done in less time if you approach it the right way. And we have to recognize that purpose often evolves. We can't force it, right? You might start in one place and you're like, I feel like something's shifting. Let's go with it. Let's flow with it because your purpose will shift and change as time changes and as you change as a person. But your purpose will come back and it will grow when we get your energy and your capacity to do things to come back. Because clarity increases as stress decreases, right? Physical energy increases as stress decreases and you're recovering. Just like motivation will return when your nervous system is stable. So when you are in that calm state and your entire brain is engaged, so your ability to reason is engaged, you will have that motivation again and you can get that momentum. When leaders rediscover their meaning, and this goes for everybody because you might be a leader in your organization, but if you're not, you lead in your home and in your personal life. And as you rediscover that meaning, energy returns and vice versa. As you focus on getting your energy back, you will find your meaning again. They are interconnected. We have to focus on what sustains us, what gives us energy, so we can stay connected to that meaning. And so if you're finding that you've tried some different things and you're like, I just don't know where to start, but I really want to reconnect to my purpose and I really want to get some momentum to healing from chronic stress, I invite you to check out the Breakthrough Burnout Challenge as it guides you through micro steps, micro actions, habits that you can create, 5 short videos that will help you start to get that clarity again. will help you rebuild that energy and start to see some sustainable momentum in what you're doing. Because purpose does not disappear. Burnout just makes it hard to see.